Happy Sunday night, everyone. And we're back. I don't know about you all, but it's been a crazy weekend. It seems like it was just a blink. We feel like we just got off this live. I don't know about you, Michael, but I feel like I just jumped off and jumped back on from last week.
Yeah.
The week went so fast. But we had so many people who wanted us to come back. It felt like we didn't finish last week, but I have a feeling that you never finish talking about relationships and what can make them better and all of that. So just a little bit so we can warm this thing up. How are you feeling today, sir? How was your day? All of that good stuff.
Had a great day. The wife and I hung out in New Orleans,
Oh, yay.
What we do. So yeah, good day. Really great weekend, really.
Yes.
How was
Y'all
yours?
getting rain down there?
No, it's been great this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, sunny.
We have flash floods out here in Oklahoma, and I just drove through it coming from Texas just about 20 minutes ago. I just got in the house.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you made it safely.
Thank you. Did your team win?
No, my team lost a few moments ago. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Oh.
Yeah, my wife's a Saints fan.
Oh, so there was some division in the house today?
No, not
Only
today,
in
last
sports.
week.
That was last week. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So tell me this, because I was told you're not a real fan if you do this. So what I do, if my team is not playing and my friend's team or my boyfriend's team is playing, I cheer for them when they're playing somebody else and not my team. And so I was told I'm not a real fan of a team when I can cheer for another team.
I don't agree with that.
Thank you, brother.
Because the Saints are, I'm a Mississippian, so the Saints are our adopted team, right?
Right. That happens, yes.
If they're not playing Dallas, I root for the Saints. And I'm a diehard Cowboy.
Thank you. I thought it made sense to me. I'm like, if my team is not playing, like if I don't have a dog in the fight, why not cheer for my friends? I didn't think that made me less of a fan. But these are Saints fans that told me I'm not a real fan because I'm cheering for another team at any time, because they don't cheer for other teams at any time.
Yeah, they don't. They don't.
You said they don't?
They don't.
I'm going to tell you something. I know a lot of people are on here and they probably are football fans. But one thing I can say about the Saints, there ain't no party like a Saints party. And there are no fans like Saints fans. They are diehard. I don't care if they lose every game. Right. They're going to party and they're going to celebrate like they won.
Yeah.
I just think that's how it should be done. So
that team is the integral part of the city. It is one. The city and the team are one.
So, and I think that's how it should be. Like, if we ever get a football team, a national football team, because we're like that with our college teams. If we ever get a national football team, I believe we'll be like that. When I moved to Oklahoma City, everybody knows OU Sooners. They're a college team. Right. But when I moved here and they had a scrimmage, I'm talking about a scrimmage before the season even started. They had a scrimmage. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm just adjusting here. They had a scrimmage, and it was over 17,000 people there to watch them, I guess, play themselves. Hey, Dawn, I guess watch them play themselves. So, they love their diehard fans, and we're like that also with our Oklahoma City Thunder with the basketball team.
Yeah.
So if we ever got a professional football team, y'all think about this. If y'all want to move your team somewhere and you're really, really good, Oklahoma people love their sports. It looks like you're. I think we got you back.
Yeah, my light went out. I don't know what's going on with it. But can you see me? I'm kind of dark, so
I see you. It's turning purple and all that, but I'm gonna talk through it while you're
Yeah,
working it
please.
out.
I'm sorry.
No worries. That's what we're here for. That's life, right? In life, we make adjustments.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey. I mean, it's like you just cut the lights out. It was just a shadow. I thought you was getting ready to say something really deep. You know how you hide your face? You know how they put you in the dark thing when you get ready
Yeah.
to say something? I thought you was getting ready to say, I'm really a Saints fan or something like
Oh,
that.
oh no. Cowboy.
So talk to me. It looks like we got some people jumping on. You guys say hi, if you will. Like, share, hit the like button, subscribe to us, like it, and say something so we'll know you're here so we can do a shout out to you. I know Dawn said good evening, everyone. And I will check on my other devices. But so, Michael, last week we started this conversation, right? On and we entitled it Married Men Dating, and I did that on purpose because I had a friend who called me and she said, okay, so tell me this, why are we talking about married men dating? Who are they dating? Are they dating their wives? Because that's who they that's who they need to be dating. Hey, Lonzine, look like Lonzine. Tamara is on, and a couple of other people, but they're like, hey, they need to be dating their wives if they're, or their significant others if they're dating. Why are they dating anyone else? So, or are you talking about the fact that married men should still keep dating their wives? Or are you saying married men that are divorced, separated but not divorced and dating? What are you saying? And I think we encompassed all of it last week. We
Mhm.
talked a little bit about all of it last week. And even though I thought we were finished, right when we were ending, we were starting to talk about doing it right. If you are in a relationship, some things you can do to do it right so that your dating is still exciting like it was when you were dating before you got married, and the kids came along, the bills, feeding the dogs and the grandchildren or whatever you're dealing with. Before all that came along and the excitement you had with each other, how to get some of that back. And that was where we stopped. So you guys, the recap, if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it. But the fact is, hey Todd is watching. The fact is that happens a lot because I wouldn't say a lot. It happens that married men who are married to someone else go and find someone else to date because of the conversation. The conversation is stimulating, it's not stressful, it's not um, grudges being held from the arguments you had last week. So let's talk about that, Michael, because I really want people who are in relationships, married or not, to nurture them and make sure they're good so that when you are on a quote date, it's enjoyable. So, I mean, if we can pick up there, and if you guys want to chime in, or a question you had from last week about dating married men, women who prefer single women who prefer to date married men, or the fact that they are dating, you guys can ask a question. But can we start out there? What I would say on a positive note, if you've been in a relationship for a while and you want to try to keep it exciting
Mhm.
or fresh with all of the stuff you go through, kind of give me some feedback on things that, or some ideas that you might have, or some guys that some things that they do, because I can give you from a woman's perspective. And then but they love hearing from you. They hear from me all the time. So
Right. You know, I mean, but that's the $1 million question. Whether the relationship is 5 years old or marriage is 5 years or 30 years. Once life happens,
hey,
there's the issue of how do we keep refreshing it? How do we keep reviving every year this love that we have for each other, the passion that we have for each other? And it's difficult because, days get long, homework, you know,
yes,
or business trips or whatever, and both parties are exhausted. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, you have work to do. You go to work tired and you do that job. You
yeah.
do all of the things you
I
need
like
to
how you
do.
said that last week. You do everything else tired.
So
I was gonna
let's,
say do your spouse tired, but you know what I mean. do,
yeah,
do the
that
day
too,
tired.
that too. because not everything has to be a marathon. Sometimes you just want to get in and get out. Just say hello, introduce yourself. So, but I'm very intentional, and I had to learn the hard way. In past relationships, instead of being bitter about them ending, I got better. So hey, you know what?
I like that.
I got lazy. Um, you take day to day for granted,
Mhm.
and you don't set dates. Your wife get home and y'all sit around and you say, well, what you want to do? What you want to do? What you want to eat? I
I
don't know what you
know,
want.
right?
So I try to take that away. I try,
Yeah.
I call and book something, and when she gets
Can
off,
you repeat that again for those in the back? You do what?
I set the date. Hey, here's what we're doing tonight. Here's where we're going. Here's where we're going for dinner. Now, do I do that every day night? No, because
No,
I
you
have to
shouldn't have
leave.
to.
I
Yeah.
have to leave some room for her to
Mhm.
say, "Hey, here's what I want to do."
Mhm.
I can't be too. I don't want to be too over empowering because now it looks like she doesn't have a voice. So I don't want
Right.
to make that mistake.
Right.
But yeah, I'll take control and hey, here's what we're doing tonight. Here's where we're going. Tonight feels like a Barnes and Noble night. So let's go hang out at Barnes and Noble and read and talk, and that's the date night sometimes for us.
I love that. They don't have a lot of bookstores anymore like they used to,
Right.
but that used to be in my former life when I was married. We would go there and we would take the kids. They would go to one side, we would go to the other side. Angie saying, "Help us out, Michael." So, and Angie is married as well, been married for a long time. I know my sister and her husband have been married for a long time, and just pushing everyone else aside and having us time seems to be a challenge for a lot of couples. And so, my thing is, they get mad at me because I'm like, look, everybody has their time, but you have to make time for each other. And the kids can wait. And
Yep.
especially when they're grown, it's like, good Lord. Hey, Tony D. Tony D just popped on. I did a interview with him earlier. Excellent, very talented man. Thank you for popping in. He's been busy all day, like all of us have. But that date night, I'm gonna go back to that, Michael. You said even if you're just going, you said it, and even if you're just going to grab something to eat and go to Barnes and Noble.
Hmm.
Right now, they have what is called, or the popular thing is Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
So, if I must, can I share with you some tips on making Netflix and chill not lazy and not using that as an excuse for a date? I know people who do Netflix and chill, and one person picks the movie, didn't really ask, just picked the movie. They bought something in to eat, and nobody's having a conversation. Everybody's in two separate areas watching the movie and eating, and they consider that a date night. So let
Wow.
me help you. Yes, it was a time that you pulled aside, but please discuss the movie. I'm not talking about while it's going on. Talk about it beforehand, afterhand, something to start interacting with each other. And if you can, get in close proximity to each other. If you have a favorite lounger and she has a favorite lounger, y'all get on the couch or something.
Yeah.
Get on the
Yeah.
couch together, touch while you're watching the movie, have conversation about the movie, engage, because a movie can be very lazy. Like, I suggest movies when you are just meeting someone, because it's not a whole lot of talking that you have to do. A little bit when you meet up, the movie entertains you. A little bit when it's over, you go home. You know what I'm saying? A little interaction. But when you have not really came together and gotten together, I would rather you, I don't know, do it in bed. Shower, get in bed, snuggle up, watch it together. Do something that makes it different than just going and cutting on the television in your house and calling that a date night. That's just my opinion, because I think Netflix and chill for married couples have made a lot of people lazy when it comes to doing the work to have a real date, if that makes any sense. I don't know. You may disagree, but so give me some feedback on that. I'm saying Netflix and chill is a cool thing. I love it.
Okay.
But I'm just saying I want some interaction.
Yeah. Um,
touching.
we do date night. We do the Netflix and chill. We do, but
Yes.
she doesn't have an option of sitting in a lounge or sitting anywhere away from me. Like, hey
Hmm.
girl, come sit over. Come here. Why you way over there? Come here. You know,
Yes.
I don't. So we watch movies snuggled up every time. Uh,
Yes.
I don't give her an option. She
Yes.
may. You know, yeah, she don't have that option. So. Um,
That's my brother. I keep telling y'all that's my brother. That's the
and
male
we,
side.
we'll decide on if we're gonna do that. Then we'll decide on what we're gonna eat. If it needs to come from New Orleans, I'll get it because I'm closer. If it needs to
Mm,
come from Baton Rouge, then she gets it because she works in Baton Rouge. So we just coordinate it and we'll do that. Yeah, so it's all we're always engaged, especially when it's
yes.
date night, at home on the couch. Yeah, we're engaged, and
Hey, Kelly. So you're saying then you're backing up what I'm saying,
yeah,
like, please touch because I've seen it done, and I'm like, this doesn't really count, you guys. First of all, everybody's in here. Everybody's everybody's in your date night. The whole family is here. I need you to pull away and I need you to be touching each other to connect. The whole point is a date night to me is to reconnect, to connect again because we're disconnected. We're plugged in everywhere else. So if you can just come away and plug in together, I think it would keep that man or woman from seeking that connection from someone else because I believe we crave it, we need it.
right,
And if we can't get it from one another, human nature, we will get it from someone else. That's why so many affairs start around the water cooler at work. At
right.
work, when you can connect one on one and have a conversation with someone, and they listen to you, and they're concerned, and they ask you about what's going on every day.
Yeah,
So Todd says, whatever you did to get them, you have to continue that uh, to keep them as much as possible. Very
agreed,
good.
absolutely.
You are
You know,
correct.
what I teach my sons and taught and continue to teach them is, hey, don't start something that you can't continue with a woman. If
I'm
it, you
telling
can't
women the
do it,
same
if you
thing.
can't be it consistently, then don't put it
Yes.
out there to win her, right?
Yes.
Because she's gonna be
Yes.
looking for it.
Yeah, yeah. And it is only fair because other than that, you're lying. And I tell women the same thing. Don't start out being superwoman if you don't want to finish that way.
Right.
Start out doing what you'll do. To me, it's a deception. You're doing all this extra stuff, but then you have no intention of keeping it up. I think that is I think it's a lie. It's not the truth. Let's
It
show who
is.
you really are and keep doing it. I think you mentioned before, Michael, you realize after doing it wrong a lot that you want to do it right this time and it
Right.
makes a difference. You tell me in this relationship where you're giving it your all, you're doing it when you're tired and all of that. What is the reward for that?
The reciprocation.
Hmm.
because
See,
women are like a mirror. They're gonna give you what you give them. You love her. You
people
love
don't
her.
believe that. People
Yeah,
don't believe that, brother, but it's so
I
true.
I didn't at first, but you can't believe it if you're not putting the work in to do it. You
I'm
know,
gonna drop the phone. You normally drop the mic. I had to drop my phone. I'm like, how in the world do you expect to get something? You know, I think the Bible says something like it's an evil person that plants to reap or plans to harvest where they didn't sow.
hmm
So how you plan to get something that you didn't even plant? You didn't even put that in, but you want someone to give you everything and you're not willing to even do a little bit. You know
right?
what I'm saying? So brothers, it's okay. Plan a date. If don't worry about it whether or not she's gonna like it. Do it because it's the to me it's the action of doing it and saying I thought about it. Tony Dallas is saying some of their representatives meet a person first, then after a while the representative makes way for the real person, and when you meet the real person it's like, who are you? I don't
Right.
even like you. Why are you here? Bring back the other person. I really like them.
Right. Right.
So really I did that before. I married a representative, and I don't know if I should be saying this out loud. And I realized that after, the after the vows of I do. And it's like, this is two different people. It's like night and day. What is going on? And I think you're not naive. I think you are honest, genuine person if you believe what someone tells you. Someone who says they love you, you're supposed to believe it unless they prove you different. Unless they show you different, you're supposed to believe them. So go back to what you were saying about dating. You plan the date.
Mhm.
Do you guys purposely switch it out? Do you say, okay, I got this week, babe, you got next week?
No,
Or how does that flow?
no. I may just, I may text her at lunch and say, hey, we're gonna do this restaurant tonight, or I found a new spot. Or she may tell me, hey, I found us a new spot. It may be Tuesday. Date nights are Friday nights.
Hmm.
So she may text and say, hey, there's a new spot, check it out. Just something someone told her about, she saw online. And I may go
Hmm.
take a look at it. It's like, okay, looks good. And it may be Friday night stay. If
Yeah.
not this week, maybe 2 weeks out. Um, but
And
we try
she
to find
found
good
it.
spots. Hmm.
Yeah, she found it and said, check it out, see if it's something we want to do.
Right.
So, how long have you all been married?
12, almost 13 years.
So, and I had to say that because I had a young lady who is fresh in her date, and her the guy she's dating, they are loving each other's energy, and so they got around some couples who have been dating for a long time. His friends who have been dating married for a long time, they're the new couple and they're touchy feely, laughing, having a good time, and he's doing sweet things for her. And the guys say to their wives, because their wives are like, look at him. Why aren't
Right.
you guys doing these things?
Right.
And the guys are saying to their wives, in 5 years, they will be us. Relax.
Right.
And this guy is like, no way. It
Right.
took me too long to connect to a woman like this. I'm going to continue doing this because look at her face. She's smiling, she's glowing. I'm going to continue to do this as long as I'm alive and I'm in her life. So
Right.
this is not going to go away in 5 years. So I'm glad you said that, because some men feel like, 5 year span, you should be headed toward that 7 year itch and be like almost kind of like uncomfortable or settled in. I don't even know how to say it. Like
But
start taking each other for granted type
but
situation.
shame on those guys. Shame on those guys for wanting this guy to settle down and be mediocre in his relationship like them. Because we don't all
Shame.
have to settle down and be mediocre and just go through the motions, right? If you have an exceptional woman, and she should be if you married her, why not
Right.
give the effort to make it work? And again, it's hard work. It's tiring. It
But it's
takes a
work
lot.
being by yourself too. I mean, you
That's
know what I'm saying? It's work being by yourself if you think about it. Like it's I think a lot of times two people can make things easier in some way, but yes, you have to communicate. I'm not taking that away. But sometimes just to have somebody have your back, or like you say, call, baby, you're closer. Can you pick this up? Working together, that can be cool. But I think about people who have to do everything themselves. That can be work too. So I just think
yeah.
it's a plus or a bonus to find someone
It,
who you can do life with.
it is, Pat. But let me tell you something. Pat. Before I met my wife, I had a beautiful life. Now it's better now. It's
Yes.
better now. It is. She enhanced it. She enriched it. I cannot deny that. But boy, it was good when I was single. It was easy. Life was
Yeah.
easy. It was easy.
I'm not going to deny that. I mean, you don't have to answer to anyone. That is true. But I think I've done it before. So I've been married before. I'm not talking from someone who doesn't have the experience. There are times when you are there with that person, like you said, it makes your life better. And you go, oh my God, with everything going on, I'm so glad you're here. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? And then there's times you come home like, and you don't have somebody there, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad there's nobody here that I have to answer to right now. Because right now, I just want to zone out.
Right.
But I think there is a way to give each other that space,
Oh yeah.
even in a relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say shout out. Hey Michael, I see Michael and Rosalind have jumped on, and Grace and Sonia. Hey everyone. Hey Julie. So thank you for being honest and saying, yes, single life can be great too. So for those of you who want to be single or think you want to be single, I finally got a very good brother friend of mine who's like, I love being single. I'm never getting married.
Yeah.
Talking to him the other night about business. He does a lot of business with me. He says, sis, I don't know. I think I would love to have a woman, someone who helped push me to make me better. And I'm working hard, I'm grinding. Someone to say, babe, you're doing a good job. I'm proud of you. Someone to just give you that little gentle nudge. That would be so nice right now. So I'm like, okay, but you can see the benefit in having that person. So what are you willing to give up? Because you gave up some stuff. What are you willing to give up to get that and watch that enhancement happen? And if you can speak to speak to that a little bit, because you really have some guys who are nervous. They're like, I don't want to get in a relationship because this woman is going to demand too much of my time, attention, focus. She's going to get on my nerves. They don't see the benefits sometimes as quickly into what the right woman can bring in your life.
To that, I would say they hadn't met the one. The one would answer all of those questions, or eliminate all of those
Yeah,
questions.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, really, because I didn't feel like I was giving up anything.
And the
I,
one makes you feel that way.
yeah, I felt like I made the move. I sold my home and moved here, and so I made all of the sacrifices in that regard. But I gained a wife. I gained my
Your
other
life partner.
half.
Yes.
Literally. So it's worth it. I didn't give up anything. Single life was good. I thought it was a blessing to be single. It's a blessing to be married.
Hmm.
I wasn't miserable at any point being single,
Hmm.
but
So
it wasn't this.
right. So I see Angie agreeing with you. She said, we talk about this all the time. For the right one, and they use the word change. I don't even like to say that. They say for the right word one, a man will change.
He
But I
will.
say for the right one, a man will make a decision. Because you can't really get with him thinking I'm getting ready to change him, but maybe he'll
Yeah.
change it. Yeah, you can't do that. But for the right one, he'll make a decision to connect and be with that person and decide that's enough for him. For
Yeah.
the right one, I believe that with everything in me, and I think it don't take them forever to figure that out either.
No.
It don't take 10, 12 years living with someone. It
Absolutely.
doesn't. So I'm sorry if y'all living together still trying to figure it out. It doesn't take that. It really
What,
doesn't.
what's that statement?
Grace is saying, in regards to what Pat said, absolutely, I agree. In a marriage, you can have individual space, and I believe it can be healthy.
It's essential.
Hmm.
You have to have your individual space. My wife does
Yes.
her things. I do my things. She's AKA I'm alpha, and so we're moving in different directions all the time.
Hmm.
So it's good, and so it's even better when we get together later. So yeah,
Yes. Yes. I agree. I agree. So, and then Angie was saying she has this question on you, Michael. She said, do men know their wife when they first see them or when they first have that interaction or conversation or someone they
absolutely,
would like to be their wife?
absolutely.
Okay.
I know I did.
Okay.
The
We hear
first
that.
time we
Yeah,
sat
we hear that.
down, I knew it.
Yeah.
The first conversation.
Yeah, we hear that. We hear that from men who are married and, well, I should say happily married to their spouse. We hear that a lot, that I knew it. And it's not that love at first sight thing, but I knew it when I saw her. I was attracted, but when I talked to her, I knew she was that person because it does have a conversation. It
Yeah,
does have a conversation involved. Angie says she knew it. She knew when she met her husband that was the one.
you know.
I think sometimes you don't know what part they play in your life. Sometimes you look at them and you go, and you have that conversation with them, right, Dallas? You had that conversation with them, and you may say something like this: I don't know what it is, but I like that person. We
Hmm.
connect.
Hmm.
Unless you're specifically looking for a husband or wife, when you connect with that person, you're like, I don't know what it is, but I like this person. I
Yeah,
feel it's something about them. I feel comfortable in their in their presence. I don't know what it is, but I like them. So I think sometimes you don't look at them and go, oh, that's my husband or that's
Right.
my wife. But you may say to yourself, this could be the one because there's something about them that I don't feel or I don't get with anyone else.
Yeah.
Anyone. So I saw he said, yes, that part. You may not know it's the marriage part, but you do know it's something different than what you could get anywhere else. So I'm looking at we're like halfway in. I want, from your perspective, Michael, if you will, the perfect date that a woman could give you. And I'm going to describe one I had that was almost perfect. Oh, well, I
Okay.
don't know if you, I mean, you can, I don't know. I don't know if I should be asking that. I'm saying, yeah. Or I would say a perfect date for you. What you would consider perfect. We don't have to add anything else to this.
Yeah. Oh, okay. For
It's your
me,
turn. Yes.
we can start with a day at the museum. I'm a history guy. So, and so is my wife. So,
Yes.
you know, a trip to DC or Houston, you know, go to Smithsonian, spend some time there, do dinner, go to
Yes.
Anacostia Park in DC, walk the park or one of the parks. And for me, that's a perfect day. We've gone to a museum. I've fed her. We can go for a walk. For me, that's a
Yes.
dope date.
Okay. So I'm asking you this because there are women who are like, I don't even know how to make a date for my guy. So basically you need to tap into what his interests are and
Absolutely.
plan something around that to make sure you got them. If they love music, find a live concert or find a venue where there's music, or it doesn't have to be complicated. Like he said, a nice walk, or if they're not ambulant, they're not, somebody asked, let me, let me not share everything. If they are able to walk and
Right.
get around, a nice walk would be great. I know I've done bike rides. I think my idea of a perfect date is something that is planned. I just get to show up. But I like surprises. I can't say that for every woman. So
Right.
I like surprises. So if I just get to show up and it's all laid out for me and I'm just going, that is like, oh man, this
Yeah.
is wonderful. I just showed up. I don't really have to. I mean, they tell me okay, what occasion. You don't want me to wear a gown if I'm going to be pedaling on the beach
Right.
somewhere.
Right.
But to just say, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this, this, and this. And that's our day. So let's get going. I'll be like, wow, okay, this is good. And then on the flip side, to do that for another person, like, hey, you don't have to worry about anything. I think my problem is I'm slightly ADD. So I might have us doing 10 things in one day and be frustrated that we only got 5 things done. Dang, we didn't get to do pottery and go to the museum and do the live jazz. Something went wrong. So
See, yeah. See, that's one thing. I'm glad you said that, Pat. That's one thing
yeah,
I try not to do is plan too
too
many things
much.
because then I would try to force them all
Yes.
to happen, and which
Yes.
now that's going to change the perspective of the date. Now it's not let's have fun. It's let's get it done, which changes
Yes.
everything.
Yes. So
You
thank you
know,
for saying that too, because I do that. I'm saying, oh, I got a perfect idea. We're gonna go to this great place for brunch. And then after that, we're gonna go and to a museum or plant something. And then we're gonna leave there and we're gonna go over here and get in a hot tub and do this and do that. And then you're wondering, okay, this didn't work out like I wanted to. So keep it simple.
keep it.
Maybe one big event and some little small things in between when
Right.
you're making those plans. We're trying to help somebody because there's people who don't know. Trust me, I've talked to them. They don't have a clue what to do, and they don't have a clue what to do with the person they love. So start asking some questions.
Yeah.
Todd said, the company is what's most important. It
I,
shouldn't matter what you do, it's about the time spent.
uh,
I agree. I mean, what?
theoretically, that sounds wonderful. Theoretically, that sounds wonderful, but realistically, some people want to do things that are fun, and
Yes.
the company is going to enhance it. But you
Yes.
know, but I plan things around my for my wife and I to do that I know she's going to enjoy. Friday, we went to New Orleans. You know, it's just right down the street. So we went to this really nice little intimate jazz bistro called Snug Harbor. If you guys are ever in New Orleans, go to
Mm.
Snug Harbor.
Oh, we have
Awesome
to try
live
that.
jazz, really good food. So it's one of our spots. I let her know, hey, we're going to the Snug tonight. We'll do dinner at Adolfo's across the street. So it was a real, it was familiar. I knew she was going to enjoy it. So it
Yes.
was easy,
Hmm.
simple, easy, and she enjoyed every minute of it. So I think
And
they
you're right
have to
about
enjoy it to a certain point.
right. And now we're going to complicate it, because Dallas is saying, if you like, he don't know if we said it earlier, but when you have kids, you really have to come together and make time to schedule out time. Otherwise, the romance and fun get lost. And which is why I'm like, guard that Friday night or a night that works for you, guard it and be like, oh, y'all know we can't be running you here and running you there because this night is for us. So you're going to have to fit in with us, or we're going to have to find someone else to take you. Treat it like it's a job because it's going to pay you later. Like if you keep giving it up, giving it up, giving it up, it's never going to happen. It just gets pushed to the side because it's not important. So what is important to you, you plan for and you make it happen. Tasha, that's a cool place you're talking about. So evidently he's been there.
But
Um,
you
so
you
you're
have
right. You
to.
really have to schedule it to come together. And it's important to come together. If you don't, there's all kind of things that can happen. You have go and date somebody else. I mean, men
But
or women, they go find that time to woo-saw and downtime. Unfortunately, it just may not be with you.
yeah,
So it is an important thing. And I have people all the time, brother, be like, look, we on a strict budget. We can't afford to do this. We can't afford to go to counseling. We can't afford to do this. Right now, we're just trying to keep our head above water. I'm like, well, can you afford a divorce?
right.
I mean,
But
because that's where you're headed if you don't take time. I mean, keeping it real, can you afford to separate and go your separate ways? Now, it's really going to cost you some money. So I say invest the time. If you love that person, sometimes you don't like them, they get on your nerves. But if you love them, schedule some time to reconnect with them. It's so, so important. And Dallas saying it has to be important on both sides. It really does, not just one.
right.
And he said an important part in a marriage, I promise you, especially us women, not us, them, especially some women, they feel like they can't be away from the home or they have to be the one that does everything for the children
Right.
or for the parents or for the siblings, for somebody. They can't be away. So my husband is just going to have to understand, I can't go. I can't do it. There's women that be like, I don't want to go nowhere. So if he want to go, fine, you go. I'm not
And,
going.
and
I'm getting in
see,
my pajamas with my glass of wine and I'm going to snuggle up and watch TV in my room. If you want to go out, you go out.
yeah,
I
and that's
can't
where
do anything with that but say that is not a good place to be.
that's where
You
the
get
that's
up.
where the that's where the other dates come in at. But
That's 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 when back in the day that song the cleanup woman.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So that's when a cleanup woman dresses up and she goes out with your guy and has a good time. But it happens, he says not a good thing, but it happens. I'm telling you, I just recently talked to a gentleman and he's all over the world, seeing the world, having a blast. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to go and see things and so I was teasing him and saying, I want to be like you. When I get to this stage in life where you're at, I'm going to be like you. You're all over the place. You're checking off. Okay, I've seen all 49 states and been to Hawaii twice and I'm going to this country and that country. Never has his wife with him. You know why? She does not want to go. I don't know. That's why
now
y'all better be careful. He said, yeah, Betty Wright, all day cleaning up that mess. Yes.
now I
That's
have to
who
say
sang that
this.
song. Betty Wright, Clean Up Woman is a woman too. I was listening. Never mind. I was
I
listening to it the other day, but yeah,
have to say this. Doesn't justify him cheating.
it
Or
does
any
not.
man. Doesn't
It
justify
does
it.
not, but
But you open
yeah.
the door.
Yeah.
You open the door for other people to compliment, to affirm your man, to you know or if I were your wife, or I would go anywhere you wanted me to go. These flattering comments over time can take effect
Hmm.
on anyone, especially if they're being neglected in any kind of way.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful with that. But let me go back to the kids real quick,
Hmm.
because it doesn't start when they're teenagers. We have to
Nope.
start with those kids when they're babies. Like, when my sons are from my first marriage. Um, when they were babies, I didn't allow them to sleep in the bed. If one of them woke up in the middle of the night, I told her, I go and see about them. I go see what's going on, because they're not coming in the bed. So
Because they're not getting in here, and you
no,
gonna go bring them in here.
right? Because once they come in there, that the bedroom life is over,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So now everything else is gonna die. Now everything else is centered around the kids. If you
yeah,
let that happen, you're
yeah,
you're done.
yeah.
So you really got to be intentional as a man to make sure that mom doesn't destroy everything about the marriage because of
And
the
I'm glad
kids.
you're saying that. I'm glad you're saying that because people don't have these real conversations. I promise you, you don't. My sons slept on. They could not sleep unless they were laying on me until they were so big I could barely breathe. They gotten accustomed to that because of me.
Hmm.
But you know what I'm saying? You can't allow that and still want this romance to be going on. I mean, it's
It, it's
stranger
not gonna.
things have happened, but I'm just saying it doesn't lead for much creativity if you
Yeah,
have a child there. You know what I'm saying? So uh hey, Darlene is speaking to us. And Dallas is saying, and the person needs to be honest with the other spouse about he or how he or she is feeling, and the spouse can't get offended by the other spouse's truth, even if they may not agree. And
right.
Dallas, that is where I come in, honestly. I think even a lot of times it's really weird. I could say something to my husband at the time. And Tamara's like, no, totally no kids in the bed, period. Yes,
Right.
you struck a nerve there. No kids in the bed. The thing is, Dallas, when you are having those disagreements, it is so important sometimes that you pull in a trusted person who is not biased, who can come together and say, this, you may not like it, but this is truth. You're going to have to give a little bit. This brother want to go out, take you out. You have to come outside of that the same way you drag yourself and shower and make up and go to work. Drag yourself, shower, make up, and go out with your man, and be like Angee said, be his cheerleader. Don't let another woman be a bigger cheerleader than you when it comes to your man. That is like healing for him, for you to speak like from your mouth how much you appreciate him and what you like about him. All those wonderful things you said to get him interested, to keep him around.
Right.
Or the other man. Oh yeah. So Rosalind is saying work husbands are real too. Work husbands are real.
Oh yeah.
Like, the women have men at work. Let me get that for you. Oh, go ahead. I'm making coffee. I'll bring some coffee to you. I've had it done to me before, right? And whereas, wow, I've never had a man make my coffee. This is weird. It starts at work. I'm telling you, those relationships, talking, having that camaraderie, the cheerleader. I don't know what I would do without you. You'll say that to your supervisor. You'll say that to the guy you work with, or the guy who's helping you in Dallas's place write a song. The women or the men will be like, "I appreciate you, man. You're talented." You da 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 da. You want to hear that from your spouse
Right.
sometimes. So spouses. If you know your guy, stop worrying about, oh, he's getting a big head. He already thinks he's this. He thinks he's that. So what? If he's yours, you benefit from that.
Right.
Continue it and let him know that's coming from you. And like Michael was saying, that'll come back on you. It should. He should say the same thing. Well, baby, I thank you. You making this easier for me. I appreciate you saying that. It should be reciprocated. And Landra is saying, I believe that relationships should be treated like an investment.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely. You put your time and money in investments and you expect it to pay in the long
Yeah.
run.
Expect no dividends if you're not making any deposits into that person.
I'm gonna have to quote that. I'm just saying. I'll say you said it the first time. After that is mine. After that is mine. Oh, he said cheerleader. Oh my God, doors of the church are open. Yes, cheerleader. Like, oh my gosh, if you okay, so I don't like to cook. I cook because I gotta eat, right? And I can cook. I can cook. I just volunteered to do it for the team next week. I can cook. It is not my passion. It's not something I love to do. So if I do that and I set it down and it's good, I want just a simple, this is good. Thank you, babe. This is good. I mean, this is, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to go overboard, but just to say you appreciate it goes a long way.
Yeah.
And vice versa, whether you cooked it or brought it or bought it and purchased it and put it in front of you. Thank you, babe. Thank you. Big deal. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you look good doing it.
Yeah.
And I like them jeans you got on. I mean, something. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I agree.
So I think we kind of cover some things. We're about 10 minutes out from being off, but we cover some things. If you guys are dating, keep doing what you did to get her. And if you want to start dating and start some spice in your relationship, and your partner may not agree that that's something that needs to be done, and you know it does, you have to find somebody that he or she respects and have them put a bird in their ear, a little birdie, a little something. I mean, Michael, what would you suggest? Because I would have somebody I know they respect say, hey, if your wife wants to go on dates, man, you're gonna have to do that. Or, you need to step this thing up. All these other folks around here are doing great things for their spouse. What have you done for her lately? Or vice
See,
versa. What have you done for him lately?
I'm surrounded by a couple of guys, and not many. That's what. That's four of us, and we do that for each other. Hey, man, when was the last time when was the last time you took
Good
your wife
point.
out? Yeah. When was the last time you did X, Y, and Z? You know. So we really check each other with things like that. With everything. Hey, have you talked to your kids? Because all of us have adult sons and daughters. So, yeah. So you need that. You need that accountability partner to make sure that you're doing what you need to do.
I love that. You guys find that's good advice, Michael. Find somebody you know is going to hold you accountable to to the relationship you want. And Dallas said he reiterated, please keep doing what you did to get him or her, please. Because honestly,
Great.
Dallas, it feels like a lie. It feels like, you were faking and shaking because you're not even willing to keep doing what you started.
Right.
I learned that it took a little while. So yeah, I wasn't cooking. That caught the attention from wasn't cooking because that wasn't my strong point, but I can, but that wasn't the thing that, the person that I caught their eye really appreciated was, oh my gosh, she's such a great cook. Because yeah, that's not gonna happen too much. But anyway, so so no, honestly, you have to be honest about that. I don't like it. I do it because, well, let me take this back. I will bake because I love baking. I will bake just because I'm stressed out. I'll sit up, it'll be midnight, and I'm like, okay, what do I have in there? I got some oatmeal, I got this. Oh, maybe I'll go make some oatmeal raisin cookies or something in the middle of the night. So my friends used to tease me, be like, I can tell you're not dating. We're getting all kind of delicious cookies and we're getting all kind of delicious cookies and snacks. So we don't get those no more when you dating. We don't get that because you don't have no time for it. But the point is, like Dallas said, please keep doing that, because if you really appreciate that person, and you may have forgotten how much you appreciate them, but people say a lot of times you don't know what you got until it's gone.
So let's go on.
So why wait till it gets to that point? Consider this us giving you a little nudge and saying, oh yeah, it definitely could go away. Some people are shocked when people walk away 20, 30, 40 years after they've been married. They no longer want to be with someone who causes them no joy and they have nothing in common with, because the old adage, they grew apart. It's really true. They didn't stay connected. So they kept doing their own thing and doing their own thing and doing their own thing till they're way out here, and nobody can even see their way back. And they're like, "Look, I'm not even going all the way back over there. I don't even want to be over there. I'm gonna stay over here. You stay over there. Let's just end this thing." So
Right.
if you want a lasting relationship, like you were saying, Michael, invest in it and expect huge dividends from investing in it. So we're about that at that end of the hour. It goes fast. Thank you guys for coming in and helping us because we were tired. We're like, it's a late Sunday night, and we were like, oh my gosh, okay, we're here. It's raining out here. I love rain. I could sleep so good. And yeah, so Michael, you want to finish us out, and we will call this a night.
Okay, guys, we're dating. You're dating. You're married. Hey, just continue to love you so you can power yourself up to love whomever it is that you are loving. If you're married, dating, whatever, if you're loved and you give that love, then it should all pan out. Because love
Yes.
is action. It's not pretty words. Love is showing them exactly how you feel about
And I don't think I need to add anything else to this. And thank you guys for thanking us, Michael. We're getting thank yous for having this conversation. Because that's what we do on this show. I didn't say the tagline at the beginning, but we have the conversations that create real relationships, not those fake ones, not the ones you get just because you want to marry somebody, but a real relationship that you can count on. And hopefully, like Michael says, it enhances your already good life. It makes it better. So, with that being said, I'm your host, Pat Nash, and Mr. Michael Bradley. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you taking time out. You're going to have to start putting your links up because I'm like, I need all of this information you have from personal training and making sure you're taking care of your body, your mind. I said, going in 2025, I want to have the healthiest body, mind, and spirit I have ever had in my whole entire life. And it comes with connecting with the right people that's going to hold you accountable. So, with that being said, thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
it. Thank you, Pat. It's always a pleasure.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you.